Sue?
The American people are concerned about the fact that they can't gain access to quality health care.
Managed care versus the rights of patients.
I would like to believe that everything was done that could possibly save his life, but I feel he was cheated.
What's your magic number?
247.5.
A new weight formula that translates pounds to good health. And the story of one woman trying to hit her goal.
I feel absolutely fantastic. Even when I go out, I feel so much more alive.
He's written about the most sensational crimes in history.
Street crime has never had quite the fascination for me that mansion crime has.
Tonight, meet the ultimate insider, Dominic Dunn.
Like I don't know her.
CNN Newsstand, with anchors Judd Rose in New York and Judy Woodruff in Washington.
Welcome to Newsstand. Thanks for joining us.
We begin tonight with a unique rescue mission.
It involves the evacuation of a doctor from a remote research station at the South Pole. In just a moment, we'll talk with someone involved with that rescue operation. But first, some background. Dr. Jerry Nielsen is the only doctor at the Antarctica Research Station, a doctor in need of medical care herself. We first told you about her 3 months ago after she discovered a lump in her breast and drugs and medical equipment were airdropped for her in a risky emergency flight. Now, since then, it's believed she's been treating herself with chemotherapy. Now her doctors want her back in the U.S. 2 cargo planes from the New York Air National Guard left today for the South Pole. With winter almost over there, military officials say it's safer to try a landing. But because of the distance and extreme conditions, it will take the National Guard at least 5 days to get there. For more on this mission, we turn now to Brigadier General Archie Berberian, Chief of Staff of the New York Air National Guard. General, thanks for joining us. What are the risks involved in this sort of mission? Obviously, it's extreme cold just to begin with. What else?
The cold is the biggest factor. When it's below 50 degrees, minus 50 degrees at the South Pole, we're really unfamiliar with how the aircraft will operate, especially when the temperatures reach 60 below, 70 to below, as they have this past winter. Additionally, there's just a little bit of sunlight this time of the year, and also winds can be quite havocal as well with the mission.
I understand that the cold gets so intense up there that there's a risk of when the plane lands that the wheels may snap off because they've frozen over.
No, that's not a risk at all. These airplanes are equipped with snow skis, both on the nose gear and also on the main landing gear as well. So the wheels do come in contact with the ground, but first the skis come in contact with the ground and they make their landing and also taxi on the skis.
As we noted, it's going to take 5 days to get there. That's an awfully long time. Now, obviously, it's far away, but is there any other reason why it takes 5 days to get there?
Well, no, they're just long flights. The ski airplane is a little bit slower than the normal C-130. We go from here to California and then across the Pacific Ocean, and then from Christchurch we'll wait for optimal weather and good weather so we can make the trip to McMurdo and then the South Pole.
Big question, of course, what do your guys do once they get there?
Well, they'll check the weather. They'll do quite a bit of mission planning. They've already done extensive mission planning and studied all the factors of flight, the temperatures, the winds, the ski and snow conditions, and they'll do that again once they get to Christchurch and evaluate the conditions with the people on scene, and then do their flight data and their mission planning again. But they've already done all that once, but they'll do it again when they get the latest information, both at Christchurch and also at McMurdo in Antarctica.
General, I would guess that the concern that most people have, if not everybody, is what condition Dr. Nielsen is in. Do you have any information on that at all?
No, we don't. We just know that the National Science Foundation has determined that it's time that we should go and get her out, and also the risk for the flight has minimized as well at this time of year. So we've been doing a continuous risk analysis, both trying to minimize the risk to the aircraft and flight crew, but also minimize the risk to the doctor as well. And now it's a good optimal time to go in and bring the doctor out.
General, thanks very much, and good luck to your guys. We've been talking to Brigadier General Archie Berberian of the New York Air National Guard. Judy?
Thanks, Judd. A story I know we're all going to want to follow. Well, much farther north here in Washington, the House of Representatives is battling its way toward a vote on a bill that would, among other things, let you sue your HMO. Setting the stage, today's narrow passage of a GOP bill on health insurance access. Democrats call that measure a poison pill designed to kill patients' rights legislation. Joining us now with more, our medical correspondent, Eileen O'Connor. Eileen?
Judy, that so-called access bill gives tax breaks to people to help reduce the cost of insurance. Republicans argue it will also reduce the number of uninsured. But Democrats say it's an expensive bill that helps the wealthy, not the uninsured. This disagreement could mean the patient's Bill of Rights never becomes law. Yet it is a law that people are literally dying to have.
Maybe he'd still be here today. I don't know.
Nick Perino says it's a haunting question he cannot answer. Maybe his son Stephen would still be alive if his HMO had listened to Stephen's doctors and given him the prescribed proton beam therapy to treat his brain tumor. Instead, he got a letter saying simply, authorization denied. Why? Even though Stephen was using doctors the HMO sent him to, the HMO said the therapy deemed appropriate by those doctors was experimental, unapproved, and not medically necessary. Stephen couldn't believe it.
His statement to me at that particular time, too, was, Dad, this lady holds my life in her hand and doesn't even know who I am. She's never met me. How can she do this?
Stephen spent his last months fighting his insurance company, proving 50 other companies paid for the treatment. He won the battle, but lost the war, getting the treatment too late.
I would like to believe that everything was done that could possibly save his life, but I feel he was cheated.
Knowing he was dying, Stephen filed a lawsuit demanding punitive damages, but that too was denied. Under current law, his HMO was exempt from such lawsuits.
Who knows how many other people this particular HMO denied that maybe could have been saved? We don't know the answer to that.
House be in order.
Cases like Stephen Perino's are why some lawmakers are pushing a bipartisan bill that gives people the right to sue their HMOs for punitive damages if they are denied care deemed medically necessary. Republican leaders say allowing lawsuits isn't the answer. They've proposed a bill using a binding external review process by independent experts, arguing people like Stephen need care, not courts.
Americans want more ambulances, not more ambulance chasers.
But some Republicans in the House agree with Democratic lawmakers that people need the threat of a lawsuit to get the care they need.
We are going to hold the insurance industry and the HMO industry accountable from when they withhold care.
Congressman Coburn is also Dr. Coburn of Muskogee, Oklahoma. He still sees patients on his days off from Congress. Dr. Coburn says he's seen horror stories, too.
You know, I had a provider in the last month that refused to supply a needed thing for a pregnant woman to protect her child from getting chickenpox. They refused. Now, why?
Coburn says his practice eventually paid for the treatment.
Worried about rising health care costs? Then look out for the trial lawyers.
The HMO industry is fighting congressmen like Coburn with tens of millions of dollars in ads, arguing that allowing people the right to sue will drive up costs, making insurance premiums unaffordable to more people.
Because if the lawyers win, working families lose.
So Democrats are taking extraordinary measures to keep the bill alive. Lobbyists from physicians and nurses groups are pounding the corridors. The head of the American Medical Association even joined Democratic members on radio shows, taking the case to the people.
And get it passed so our patients can get the care, necessary care, that they need in a timely manner.
But with all this partisan bickering, it doesn't look like there will be a bill that can be signed into law. So what would Stephen Perino do if he were here?
Keep fighting. Got to change this law. Have to change the law.
The debate on the patient's Bill of Rights continues here Thursday morning, with a vote expected by the end of business. I'm Eileen O'Connor, reporting live from Capitol Hill.
Thanks, Eileen. Well, elsewhere on Capitol Hill today, lawmakers were out for blood, or at least information about it. The nation's blood supply was under scrutiny by the House Commerce Committee. The panel's chairman called on U.S. Surgeon General David Satcher to improve standards for preventing the spread of disease through transfusions. Satcher maintains that the U.S. blood supply is very safe and getting safer. Judd?
So, Judy, now imagine this. Imagine that looking up a number on a chart could help reduce your risk of heart disease or cancer. Well, as it happens, a new study of more than 1 million Americans indicates it can. The catch, what do you do once you learn your magic number? Well, CNN's Holly Furfer reports on that.
Everyone, this is Anne.
At 5'1", all pure energy, Deborah Matessino says she feels great and looks great. Since losing nearly 50 pounds and taking off 52 inches this year, in her words, losing about the size of a small child.
I feel so much better.
3 years ago, she was at her heaviest, 181 pounds. For someone of her height, that is considered morbidly obese. At 31 years old, she was at risk of early death from a heart attack or stroke, developing diabetes, hypertension, and cancer. That is when she realized she was cutting her life short and had to do something.
Good.
So she joined a gym and went on a strict low-fat, low-carbohydrate diet. We first met her last year when she started taking her health extremely seriously. Her goal then was to lose a total of 50 pounds, and she was almost halfway there.
My personal goal is to get down to size 6.
This is Deborah today, just about at her goal, weighing in at 135 pounds.
I can't even begin to tell you how many nights I've cried, and I mean the years that I've gone through the roller coaster ride of finally being where I want to be.
Deborah is already doing what doctors say is imperative to live a long, healthy life, according to a study in this week's New England Journal of Medicine, which shows everyone has a magic number to hit. How tall you are and how much you weigh tells you whether you're at risk of dying early from a host of chronic diseases. Researchers examined records of more than 1 million men and women of all ages through a 14-year period. They focused on the body mass index, or BMI. That's a standard measure that factors body weight and height. The index has 3 categories to assess your level of health. We'll show you how Deborah's doing. At her heaviest of 181 pounds at 5 feet 1 inch, Deborah had a body mass index number of 34. Under 25 is considered healthiest. She was considered morbidly obese and at high risk of death from heart disease, stroke, cancer, hypertension, and diabetes. Today at 135 pounds, her BMI is 25. She's at a moderate risk level, but right on the border.
About 55% of all U.S. adults are classified as overweight, and that continues to worsen with time. We're tending to get fatter and fatter as a society, and this increases our risk of death. And as I said, we need to find ways to turn that trend around.
Researchers also report the risks associated with a high BMI were greater for whites than blacks, especially for white women. And in general, men had a slightly higher risk of dying from a BMI of 30 or more than women did. Doctors hope with this new study, those who calculate their BMI and find they are overweight will take note of those like Deborah, who says she finally feels like she has control of her lifelong struggle with her weight. Holly Furfer, CNN, Atlanta.
Interesting stuff. But the question, of course, is if you want to calculate your body mass index, your BMI, how do you find out? Well, you can ask your doctor for a chart. There are also a number of websites that can help. One of them belongs to Shape Up America, which was founded by former Surgeon General C. Everett Koop. The address, www.shapeup.org/BMI.
Up next, we'll take you to London's Paddington Station.
There was an eerie silence, very unusual for London at that time of the morning.
A first-hand account of round-the-clock rescue efforts when CNN Newsstand returns.
What's wrong with Alex?
Alex, why so blue?
I wish I was blue. Everything here is so colorless. I need color to express myself.
Spoken like a true business professional.
I am? I mean, I did?
Sure you did. Every business needs color. Helps them communicate what they know.
So why can't we have some?
Because they need it more down there. See? Keep it in color, you make the point. it gets results.
But color is so hard to get, and it takes an eternity.
Not when you can get Xerox color on the desktop.
Or put it right in the hall.
You can even get it at 40 pages a minute.
Guess they really do need it. But couldn't I just wear this?
Maybe on casual Fridays.
Keep the conversation going. Share the knowledge. The Digital Document Company, Xerox.
I wanted to be a doctor since I was in second grade.
I think it's a wonderful time to practice medicine.
They told me I couldn't because I was a girl.
It certainly has changed more in this 10 years than in the last 100 years.
And I think change is always frightening. The good old days are not the good old days.
With managed care or health maintenance organizations, the word that I think a lot of us are forgetting is that word health.
There's no question it's easier access to health care with managed care.
It's a good system.
Today's managed health care. There's a lot to feel good about.
The message I'd like to get across is that managed care can work.
Forces brought together by human ingenuity create a power greater than either apart. Put the powers of world-class corporate and investment banking to work for your company and realize your brightest future. Citibank and Solomon Smith Barney, because we can, you can.
To me and the R&D team at International Paper, looks are just as important as content. So when an ice cream carton maker came to us for help, we created a container that's strong enough to make it from the dairy to your home. And the printing surface makes the ice cream look as good as it tastes.
Now remember, Daddy, save room for dinner.
How can we help your product look better? International Paper. From innovation to results.
In London, the scope of yesterday's fatal train accident is only now being realized. 28 people are known dead. Authorities say dozens more could be buried in the wreckage. The exact number may never be known. Listen to this. One of the first-class cars was so badly burned that identifying remains will be nearly impossible. Investigators are focusing on whether one of the trains may have run a red light. From the scene tonight, our reporter's notebook with CNN's Nick Robertson.
I first heard about this accident when I was in the office early in the morning. I was tuning into a local radio station as I do in the morning to get the local news, and it was clear very quickly that a major incident had happened. By the time we got here, the fire that had been billowing the black smoke was more or less out, and we were looking down on a concertina metal carnage that was strewn across the tracks.
It's just like a disaster movie, and you think, this can't be happening to you because it's so unreal. It was just like we were trapped. We couldn't get out, and there was fire as well, so it was quite a lot of panic going on.
We came around to the collection point, and there were people there waiting to be treated, waiting to get their first treatment and their first inspection by some of the paramedics. These were the walking wounded at the time. About 20 years ago, I was involved in a train accident. The train careered off the track going too fast around a corner. I was in a carriage, it was thrown on its side, and I broke my arm. Coming out to the scene here, I'm very much aware of what it's like to go through an accident like that, of the disorienting feeling that one has, the shock that one has, and also a sense of not yet fully coming to terms with the vastness of it.
I could see the flames, and there was some people trapped underneath the seats, so we had to try and get over them and try to give them a hand, but we couldn't.
One has to be empathetic towards their situation. They've just survived a very horrendous and very tragic accident, so one has to be very deferential to their feelings. That does take care, but one has a number of emotions to deal with. One's very much aware that this could just be anyone. It could be one's parents or one's brother traveling to work on this train in the morning.
That was Nick Robertson. In other top stories, a discovery in the search for Jared Atadero. Trackers find what they believe are the footprints of the 3-year-old boy, missing now for 5 days in the mountains of northern Colorado. Nearby, tracks of a mountain lion or cougar. No evidence, however, that a wild animal attacked the child. Back here in Washington, President Clinton is lobbying for the nuclear test ban treaty. Senators are scheduled to vote on it next week. At the moment, Mr. Clinton does not have the two-thirds vote needed for passage. And Vice President Al Gore, who wants to be president, officially moves his campaign headquarters out of Washington and home to Tennessee. The move is designed to re-energize a campaign that has Democratic rival Bill Bradley on its heels. More in a moment.
Still ahead, the author who practically invented true crime writing.
Is there a shred of doubt in your mind that O.J. Simpson committed those murders?
There's not a shred of doubt in my mind.
When CNN Newsstand continues.
Okay, that's it. What? I'm tired of busting my hump all day while you just sit around.
Me?
Yes, you, Bill. I put you to work.
Oh, yeah, right. Earning what? Next to nothing? Why don't you just bury me in the yard?
I don't know what to do with you, Bill.
You need help. Let's call J.B. Oxford. Get on the internet.
Now you're talking.
Hey, I found some change in the sofa today.
Test your investing IQ. Is A better? Or B? Fine. Next question. Do you prefer A or B? If you selected B, you might be interested in Unlimited Advantage from Merrill Lynch. For a simple annual fee, you get the tools you need to help you achieve your financial goals.
Joyce, is the server down?
No, it's working just fine.
Are you sure?
I don't believe this. What is going on out there?
If you want to meet the players driving the internet economy, there's only one event. Comdex. It's where the .com world is going. The luxurious Jeep Grand Cherokee. With QuadraDrive, our most advanced four-wheel drive system ever, you can travel to the world's most exotic places. So there's no limit to what you might come across.
I need a vacation.
A lot of golfers just dread pulling a long iron out of their bag.
Not anymore.
Long irons are hard to hit.
Not anymore.
The patented technology in our new Hawkeye titanium irons gives us our lowest center of gravity and highest launch angles ever. Makes it a lot easier to hit. Excuse me, David, those are my Hawkeyes.
Not anymore.
Tungsten-injected titanium. Performance found only in the new Hawkeye titanium irons from Callaway Golf.
What a difference a day makes on Wall Street. Here's our guy, Tony Guida, with our Moneyline update. Tony?
Judd, we begin tonight with a warning. Careful, major cliche just ahead. Even on Wall Street, here it comes, the glass is either half full or half empty. Yesterday, investors perceived a glass half empty in the Fed's decision on interest rates. Today, they looked again and saw glass half full. What a difference that glass makes. A blowout rally today as the Dow gained 187 points to 10,588. That's its best day in more than a month. Tech stocks, led by those internet darlings, did even better. The NASDAQ was up 57 points, a gain of more than 2%. But bond traders preferred to start worrying already about what the Fed may do next month. The 30-year Treasury gained just a fraction, the yield at 6.11%. There was more good news for investors after the market closed. It came from that gentle internet giant Yahoo. The company posted earnings of $40 million last quarter. That's 14 cents a share. Yahoo's numbers were almost 6 times greater than a year ago. The stock gained more than $2 during the day, and in after-hours trading, the stock zoomed up another 7 and change. Wait till the doors open tomorrow. If you own shares of Amazon.com or Priceline.com or Ubid or eToys, this was an excellent day. The e-tailers, as someone nicknamed them, someone who needs to get a life, caught a big break when an 800-pound gorilla stumbled. Walmart said today its new improved Walmart.com will not be ready as planned. It'll have to wait till early next year. That sound you heard was all the other e-tailers exhaling. And speaking of doing business on the internet, Merck and CVS are betting that over-the-counter drugs will be big sellers on the web. Health plan members of Merck Medco will now be able to use its website to buy healthcare products and over-the-counter drugs exclusively from CVS. CVS also will become the only pharmacy to accept prescription orders from Merck Medco's 51 million customers. Shares of CVS soared 675 on the news. Merck was up 2. All right, enough already about the internet. Let's talk real toys, gizmos, gadgets. Remember that car the Jetsons used to drive? Now you can get all that cool, futuristic stuff in today's new models. CNN's Ed Garston takes a look.
Imagine you're lost, but don't use a map. You ask your car where to go.
In about 2.2 miles, please make a legal U-turn.
Need to check your email right now?
Email.
You have 6 email messages.
A ride getting dull for your passengers. Let them do a little driving, too. Or watch a movie. Well, this year, several companies have come up with all sorts of ways to be entertained, informed, and in touch while you're driving, if you're willing to pony up the bucks to pay for them. Say, $1,300 for Clarion's Auto PC system.
The world's first in-dash computer. It is the first personal assistant, and it combines car audio and computer technologies.
It operates email, pager, a navigation system. For $1,500 and up, Visteon will sell you an entertainment system. It includes a VCR, TV tuner, and Nintendo 64. And all these gadgets pose a safety hazard for driver and passengers. The companies claim they're designed with safety in mind.
The in-vehicle entertainment products, the screens are set up so that nobody in the front seat, especially the driver, can actually take their eyes off the road to look at the screen.
What's next? Well, the head of InfoMove, a company that helps develop in-vehicle systems, predicts
in 5 years, every car and truck on the road will actually have full internet capability.
Another creature comfort at your beck and call.
Traffic.
Traffic alert. Jackknife truck northbound on 405.
Ed Garston, CNN, Detroit.
Sell your house, move into your car. That's our Moneyline update. A complete look at the day's business news every night with Willow Bay and Stuart Varney on Moneyline at 6:30 Eastern, right here on CNN. Now let's get back to Judy in Washington.
Thanks, Tony. I want one of those cars. There is still reason to leave your heart in San Francisco. Money Magazine says it is the best big city in America based on considerations such as low crime and future job growth. Other big cities at the top of the list are Austin, Texas, and New York. Money says the best small cities to live in are Rochester, Minnesota, Columbia, Missouri, and Boulder, Colorado. Money's annual list of America's best company benefits also is on newsstands. If you've ever wondered how generous your employer really could be, here's writer-reporter Kelly Smith from the pages of Money Magazine.
First, the good news. Companies are offering employers more choice in their 401k plans, and they're also extending stock options to workers at all levels. In addition, we found that companies are moving toward plans that will be cheaper and easier to manage for them in the long run. We took a look at benefits in 4 key areas: retirement plans, health care, stock options, and insurance plans. The big news in retirement plans are that companies are moving away from traditional pension plans toward cash balance plans, which are great news for younger workers and job hoppers. In healthcare, we've seen that employers are really shifting the burden to their employees. They're giving them more choice in terms of what kinds of healthcare plans they offer, but they may be asking them to kick in more of their own money to pay for more expensive options. In terms of stock options, again, the big news is that companies are offering broad-based stock options to workers at all levels and not just reserving this perk for people in top management. The top company in our survey was Philip Morris, and they scored high mainly because they have a very generous profit-sharing plan in which they contribute 13 to 14% of an employee's pay to a tax-deferred savings plan. Some other companies that topped our list include two computer companies, Intel and Dell. And while you may think that the best thing about their benefits are their stock options, they're actually at the top of our list because they too offer very generous profit-sharing plans. A few other companies that also made the top of our list include Procter & Gamble, Bell South, and the Boeing Company.
Coming up, from the A-list to the bestseller list, and Dominic Dunn's wild ride in between.
I was such a hypocrite. I mean, I saw somebody smoke grass in our house one night. I can't tell you how shocked I was. But 3 weeks later, I was smoking grass in everybody's house.
When CNN Newsstand returns.
Weeknights at 11, it's a fun, fast-paced, and smarter approach to sports news. Join Fred and Vince on Sports Tonight, weeknights at 11 on CNN.
We're clearing out the 99 models to make room for the 2000s, and that means huge savings on major brands.
Discounts on major brands means you get the lowest possible prices now and the highest resale later.
Motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels, all 99s must go.
And purchasing from Ollinger means you won't find an empty parking lot when you return for service.
Hurry to Ollinger's 99 model clearance sale, because these closeout prices won't last. Ollinger Travel Homes is more than low prices. Ollinger Travel Homes is...
There's no thrill like discovery. The Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Sponsored in your community by West Coast Bank.
Early Edition with Carol Lynn and Leon Harris. Weekdays on CNN.
Suffering from nasal congestion? A new kind of relief is about to be revealed, because now there's a medicated nasal spray without one single preservative. Introducing Natravent, the only preservative-free nasal spray, for long-lasting relief in one single spray. Finally, somebody figured it out. New Natravent. No preservatives, fast relief. Saline mist also available.
The AIM Investor Pop Quiz. College may cost over $100,000. You should gamble on a hot stock tip. Put everything in a savings account. Smile and heat up a bottle. Have peace of mind. Call your financial consultant about AIM mutual funds.
The world of high society. It's a world that plays by its own rules, and one of them is that when scandal strikes, as it often does, a shroud of secrecy descends to hide those sordid stories from the prying public. Well, that's with one exception. A best-selling author who hears all and tells all in his novels and magazine articles. And now he's telling on himself, and it's as tough a tale as any he's ever written. In New York, wherever the elite meet to eat, you're likely to spot Dominic Dunn.
Hi, baby. Like I don't know her.
Master of the art of kiss and tell.
She divorced Bud and married his brother.
He tells great stories, better than anyone.
He's told those stories in his widely read articles in Vanity Fair on some of the most controversial court cases of our time. The Menendez brothers, William Kennedy Smith, O.J. Simpson. And then in his best-selling books, where he turns the low deeds of high society into thinly veiled fiction. And still, his prominent pals dish him the dirt with abandon. Yet, for all his insider access, Dunn insists he's still an outsider.
It isn't that I really aspire to that kind of life, but I do move in that world a great deal. I'm not part of it.
You're not?
Oh, no. No.
But you go to the parties,
Yeah,
you're
of
invited to
course.
the dinners.
Of course. And I go, kiss, kiss, hi, darling. I mean, I know how to do all that. As long as the books make the bestseller list, you keep getting invited back. I worked in live television.
Now 74, Dunn is about to lay his own life bare.
I'm a tremendous fan of yours. I read you.
He's written a memoir called The Way We Lived Then, Confessions of a Well-Known Name-Dropper, recalling the time before his fame as a writer. The second of 6 children, Dunn grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, starstruck as far back as he can recall.
From the time I was a little kid, I read movie magazines. And my brother read baseball magazines.
This is Hollywood and Vine.
When I was 9 years old, I was taken to Hollywood by an aunt, and it was something that just electrified me. I loved it, and I knew more than the tour guides knew.
His first job in 1952 as a stage manager on one of the classics of early TV.
Howdy doody, boys and girls!
From there, Dunn worked in TV drama, moving among a circle of aspiring actors, one of them, Lenny Griffin.
And she and I fell in love, and we were engaged in 3 weeks.
In short order, they had sons Alex and Griffin, and then in 1957, Dunn landed a TV job in Los Angeles. It was his dream come true. First, living in Santa Monica, next door to fated sex symbol Mae West, and just down the shore from Peter Lawford, who was married to one of President Kennedy's sisters.
A couple of times they had lunches for the president. It was a big deal when the helicopter landed on the beach and the president of the United States got out, and Marilyn Monroe's there and Judy Garland's there.
Their next home, Beverly Hills, where Lenny gave birth to a daughter, Dominique. Jack Benny, Debbie Reynolds, Jimmy Stewart, Lucille Ball were all within walking distance, but none compared to movie goddess Lana Turner. In 1958, Turner's gangster boyfriend was murdered, reportedly by her teenage daughter. For Dunn, the case ignited a lifelong fascination, crimes of the rich and famous.
Street crime has never had quite the fascination for me that mansion crime has. But
well, Dunn stationed himself outside Turner's home.
In rich people murders, the lawyers are always called before the cops are called, so they get the story figured out.
I still never saw a blade.
I always figured that Lana probably stabbed him and that her daughter Cheryl took the hit.
By now, with Dunn's growing success in TV and rising position on the A-list, his house became party central. Warren Beatty on piano, Mia Farrow and Ryan O'Neal doing the frug, and Natalie Wood all the time.
She always used the blade of her knife to do her lipstick. I just thought it was such a wonderful gesture, and I've copied it in 2 of my novels. I've had characters use that.
The party that should have inspired a novel was the Dunn's 10th anniversary in 1964. Their black and white ball.
It was fabulous. Ludicrous for a couple our age to have spent that kind of money, but we did it nonetheless.
It was a year in the making, and 250 attended. Among them, Truman Capote, Angela Lansbury, Dennis Hopper and his wife, Brooke Hayward.
The driveway was covered with a fabulous carpet of white silk, and we walked down that and we went into the house, which was just magical.
For the Dunns, though, the sweet life would soon sour. In the mid-60s, Hollywood was changing. The studio system had disintegrated. Ball gowns gave way to blue jeans, and drugs were suddenly everywhere.
I was such a hypocrite. I mean, I don't know, I saw somebody smoke grass in our house one night. I can't tell you how shocked I was. But 3 weeks later, I was smoking grass in everybody's house. I got on the bandwagon quick.
By now, Dunn was moving from TV into film producing, and he says getting high helped him deal with his feelings of inadequacy about being on the A-list.
After all those years of wanting to be there, and then I got there, and I got it, and I was successful for a while, it really wasn't it. And I just began to slide. The marriage came apart first. That was the toughest. But I was married to a fantastic woman, and I really screwed it up. Her feet always stayed on the floor, and mine didn't. I got just carried away by celebrity and falsehoods, and I just turned out to be not so nice. kind of ashamed of it.
In his book, Dunn describes his decline in detail, being arrested at L.A. airport for smuggling marijuana from Mexico, in a late-night drug haze, setting his hotel room on fire, and finally, out of work and out of favor, he sold his dog for $300 cash. Dunn left town, another Hollywood has-been, looking for a happy ending.
I went to Oregon, and I lived in a little one-room cabin all alone for 6 months. And it was an experience that brought me to my knees.
How do you mean?
About myself. You have to come to terms with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Where did I go wrong? How could I have played the scene? How could I have said that? I mean, if you check with any of those people who knew me back then, when I was sort of wanting to be everywhere and everything, I mean, I'm not like that now.
His memoir stops there, but his story doesn't. In time, in that Oregon cabin, Dunn began to write, the first steps on the road to literary fame.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Then, in 1982, his daughter Dominique, a young actress, got her first big role in the film Poltergeist. She'd barely had a chance to savor her success when she was brutally killed by her boyfriend, who was convicted of voluntary manslaughter.
I had never attended a trial until I attended the trial of the man who killed my daughter. And I was shocked that the killer on trial had more rights than the victim. I was appalled that whole sections of his life in which he had battered other women could be kept from a jury, whereas my dead daughter, they could say any terrible thing about. Well, this became like a mission for me.
Dunn's mission, written in the pages of Vanity Fair,
And the trial is
to show the twists and tricks that he says make a mockery of our criminal justice system. And that mission became a passion at the trial of O.J. Simpson.
There was an enormous similarity in the man-woman relationship of O.J. and Nicole and the man who killed my daughter and Dominique. There's this jealousy, this thing, if I can't have you, nobody else is going to have you.
Is there a shred of doubt in your mind that O.J. Simpson committed those murders?
There's not a shred of doubt in my mind.
No self-doubt either. Dunn says he's now able to walk that tightrope, the thin line between pursuing fame and embracing solitude.
What I learned in the months that I stayed in that cabin in Oregon was the importance of solitude. My New York life is go, go, go all the time. And I come up here and I stay by myself. That's when I do my best work. And that's when I reflect.
By the way, Dunn also credits his comeback to Tina Brown, the much-hyped editor of Talk magazine. In 1983, when she was running Vanity Fair, Brown met him at a party and listened to his colorful Hollywood stories. Intrigued, she asked him to put them on paper for her magazine. He did, and since then it's been, you might say, a done deal. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, the man who shelled out $700 million and beat Michael Ovitz to the punch. All in the name of football.
Well, I think it puts Houston back on the sports map.
When CNN Newsstand returns.
When dentures dream, they see the perfect denture cleanser. One with the stain-fighting power of Effordent and the freshening power of Listerine. Well, little friend, dream no more. It's really here. It's called Effordent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Effordent Clean and Listerine Fresh. That's Effordent Plus.
Now, every night, there's a fever sweeping the country. Introducing Sprint Nickel Nights. Now calls are just a nickel a minute every night. Catch the fever of 5-cent calling with Sprint Nickel Nights. Get it while it's hot. Call 1-800-PEN-DROP.
I think it's taken a while for doctors to warm up to managed care because it's a change, and I think change is always frightening. However, I think one of the real strong points with managed care is, not taking away care, but in fact giving the right care. I'm fortunate to be able to take care of patients with fee-for-service and managed care, and I think I know the care is the same, and I think the satisfaction is the same.
Today's managed health care. There's a lot to feel good about.
I guess the message I'd like to get across is that managed care can work.
I will help one client succeed. Then I will help another.
I would seek answers to questions others wouldn't bother to ask.
Je n'aurai pas toujours la solution, mais je réussirai à la...
I will rush to the defense of facts.
I work for JP Morgan.
I work for JP Morgan.
Je travaille pour JP Morgan.
Trabajo en JP Morgan. I work for JP Morgan.
Comfort Inn understands business travel.
I've been thinking. Kill the slides. Just talk to them.
Our complimentary breakfast saves you time.
Enunciate.
And one of our 1,500 hotels is probably right near your meeting.
Take deep breaths.
It's more than a room, it's comfort.
Hey, boy, wanna go for a little walk? Get a little exercise.
Again?
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Mrs. Wilson.
I didn't expect to see you this morning.
Yeah, right. You call this exercise?
Hey, Steve.
This is getting my heart rate up.
Oh, yeah, he loves these walks, don't you, boy?
Sure. Good cardio.
Feel better?
Way better.
Now it's my turn.
Now that's a workout. Hey, Steve. Come on, boy. Want to go for a walk? Get real. Get a treadmill.
Get to NordicTrack.com and save $300 on the PT1750 treadmill.
There are sports fans in Houston, Texas, who are celebrating tonight, even though the Astros lost today's baseball playoff game to the Braves, because when it comes to pro football, Houston has shut out Los Angeles.
Good morning. I'm very pleased to announce that the member clubs have approved Houston as the NFL's 32nd franchise and Bob McNair as the owner of the Houston franchise.
A lot of people expected Los Angeles to get the new NFL franchise since it is the nation's #2 television market and since it lost both the Rams and the Raiders to other cities. L.A. even had a team of investors that included super agent Michael Ovitz and actor Tom Cruise. But the NFL owners were unanimous in picking Houston's $700 million bid. It is a record for any professional sports team. And since power company executive Bob McNair is hardly a household name, NewsStand's David Mattingly tackled him outside the owners' meeting in Atlanta.
You were in the business of power plants. You own racehorses. How did that prepare you for the NFL?
Well, this has been a long race, and I'm glad it's concluding. We've spent 2.5 years in this process, and it was getting a little tiring, to say the least. But we're absolutely delighted with the results and look forward to bringing football back to Houston.
And you have a racehorse that came in second in the Kentucky Derby, isn't that correct, in 1994?
Well, we've come in second in the Derby. We've won the Belmont. We've touched gold. We won the Travers. We won the Haskell. We won a lot of races.
And how does this race compare?
Well, this race is a lot longer. The horse races are usually about 2 minutes, but this is really exciting for us, so we're just delighted.
$700 million for a franchise. That's a new record. Where did this money come from?
Well, of course, the business that I've been in was the power business, the cogeneration business, and we built the largest independently owned cogeneration company in the world, and fortunately we added a lot of value there. So we've been quite fortunate that we were able to do this sort of thing.
$700 million for the franchise, a stadium deal worth $300 million. This is the first billion-dollar deal in the NFL history. You are not the biggest market in the NFL. How is this going to pay off?
Well, Houston is one of the largest markets, and it's bigger than 21 of the existing markets in the NFL. So it's a big market. And in terms of employees and payroll and what have you, we're in the top 5 in the country. We're the 4th largest city. So Houston is a great sports town, and I think it'll be a very successful franchise.
There were some other big names vying for a franchise. Michael Ovitz, Tom Cruise was in there. At any time, did you think you were at a disadvantage?
Not really, because I knew that at the end of the day, it was going to be on the basis of which city could put together the strongest stadium proposal, the best management group, and offer a market that was receptive to the NFL. and Houston meets all of those criteria and meets them very well.
Throughout this process, did you ever feel like there was a bias toward getting a team in Los Angeles before Houston?
Well, there was a bias. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And the NFL was trying to put a team in Los Angeles, and they were running into difficulty. And we were able to bring all the pieces together in Houston, and that brought about the result today.
Bob McNair told our David Mattingly that he is open to suggestions for the new team's name, so send in your ideas. Houston's old NFL team, the Oilers, moved to Tennessee several years ago.
I haven't spent a lot of time in Houston, but I'd suggest maybe the Houston humidity. Coming next, our newsstand soundbites tonight. They're tinged with both tragedy and comedy.
For the first time in history, a personal computer has been classified as a weapon by the U.S. government. With the power to perform over 1 billion calculations per second, the Pentagon wants to ensure that the new Power Macintosh G4 does not fall into the wrong hands. As for Pentium PCs, well, they're harmless.
Deutsche Bank, redefining financial services. Global reach. More opportunities. The support of an integrated global network. Local strength and expertise. Global reach is leading to results. Deutsche Bank.
The first network to deliver the promise of the Internet is complete. With the bandwidth to change everything, your world will never be the same again. Ride the light. Quest.
Without water. Can you live without art? The bold look of Kohler.
You gotta stop right there. Good girl. Today, I'm giving my daughter her first driving lesson. I'm Howard Simpson, auto insurance expert for Liberty Mutual. Teenagers are more likely to have an accident than anyone else. That's why I volunteer to teach kids road safety long before they get their license. Let's go, let's go. Whether it's teaching kids in high school or training professionals, we do whatever it takes to make roads safer.
At Liberty Mutual, we have hundreds of experts helping you live a safer, more secure life. It's insurance in action.
You're never too old to learn.
Of the poor people. The International Magna Carta.
We shall be free someday.
One important issue in science, which I hope will change in the next century, is the composition of the group of scientists. And the New Yorker published a photograph of Nobel laureates not too long ago, and they're all white males. I think that's rather sad, and I hope that in the next century we would see a very different picture.
Yes, I can't get it to myself. You have to prove that it's possible that women can do physics for these younger women. And if they see women who are doing it and who are doing it successfully, this is very important. When I went to school, I never saw a woman physicist until I was, I think, a third or fourth year graduate student, and that's terrible.
The women who are in the business getting out and being visible and showing girls that, hey, it's possible to do these things. So I think there's a lot of ways now of letting girls know that this stuff is really fun.
There are a lot of women now, young women in particular, who are extremely talented and doing just a wonderful job. And they're beginning to get positions, but many of them still feel there's a glass ceiling.
I have great optimism about the role that women are going to play in our society across the board, but certainly in science and technology. There's many young ladies coming up through the ranks that are going to be taken over.
This Voices of the Millennium is brought to you by Zales, the diamond store. Forever starts today with a diamond from Zales.
Zales reminds you that a new millennium only comes along once every 1,000 years. And if you've had the good fortune to have fallen in love at this time, there's only one way to mark the occasion. With the Diamond Solitaire from the Zales Signature Collection. An exquisite single diamond is a powerful gift. It has the power to take two people and make them one. At Zales stores nationwide or shop online at zales.com.
We go looking for the best lines of the day. Sometimes we find humor, other times the topics are serious. Today, we found both. Here now, the Newsstand Sound Bites.
This clearly has been the most appalling and dreadful tragedy. And the rescue operation is still going on, but I think we have to brace ourselves now for an even higher death toll.
The best way to constrain the danger of nuclear proliferation, and God forbid the use of a nuclear weapon, is to stop other countries from testing nuclear weapons. That's what this test ban treaty will do.
Our colleagues on the other side of the aisle obviously realize that they don't have the votes to ratify the CTBT, and so they are hoping to dictate the terms of their own surrender. They want us to say something like this: okay, let's call it a draw. And I say to them, that ain't going to happen.
Would you run? Would you join him on the ticket as vice president, or those days are over? You can't go back.
I've been there, done that.
Been there, done
I don't want to get back on your show as often as I was.
Well, baseball, football, choose your sport. There's a lot going on right now. We go for an update to Vince Cellini.
Well, Judd, we have it all indeed. On Sports Tonight, more outstanding playoff baseball, including a one-hitter in Atlanta and hits at a premium in Cleveland with Pedro Martinez firing at the Tribe. Pedro's injured in this game. The NFL welcomes a new franchise, and the Broncos welcome a new/old quarterback. Plus, quarterback Dan Marino on the defensive. Sports Tonight, it's coming soon.
Thanks, Vince. Tomorrow, a career in the fast lane.
We walk fast.
She took a bid from a Silicon Valley startup and made Fortune magazine's list of the most powerful women in business. Willow Bay hooks up with eBay's Meg Whitman. I'm Judd Rose in New York.
Good night, Judd. I'm Judy Woodruff in Washington, and good night from all of us at Newsstand.
Weeknights at 11. It's a fun, fast-paced, and smarter approach to sports news. Join Fred and Vince on Sports Tonight. Weeknights at 11 on CNN.
I love coaching, but today there are more important challenges.
You know, 2 out of 3 kids can't read at grade level, but not these kids.
They took the Hooked on Phonics Reading Challenge to become better readers.
Most of the kids in my class don't read very well. My teacher said I was doing a lot better. Now the other kids in class are asking me to read for them. Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
Hooked on Phonics can work for your kids, too.
Your child can be a better reader in just 4 weeks or your money back. Call now and with your paid order, get the Start Right CD-ROM free. Call 888-ABCDEFG.
What will the credit card of the future look like?
The future?
Think of the possibilities.
The world's changing.
We'll need a card that can change with it.
What will a credit card look like that has an introductory rate of 0% and then a fixed rate as low as 9.99%?
Definitely not like anything in my wallet.
That has no annual fee and gives you the flexibility to pay over time.
So I'll be able to extend the payments on my new lunar vacation?
What will a credit card look like that provides guaranteed protection from online fraud?
I don't know.
But I think it has my name on it.
A card with a built-in smart chip to give it ever-evolving capabilities.
A credit card with a brain? That makes other credit cards seem so
20th century. Actually, it'll look like this. Introducing Blue from American Express, a whole new kind of credit card.
We really do live in an interesting time.